He's sniffing the air and I think he's going to attack. Oh, no, wait, something spooked him. I think it might have been the swoop of an approaching Harriet Harman. Yes, it looks like we're going to have to wait a bit longer to see any official opposition. So over to Kate Humble, who's feeding some dead mice to a roosting Ian Duncan Smith.
Saying the Met Police can be a bit heavy-handed is like saying Islamic fundamentalists can be a bit stroppy, or that Charlie Sheen can be a bit cocaine-y. But now senior female police officers have been tasked with making police riot tactics more polite. Joining me to discuss this is Chief Superintendent Emma Scapula.
Hello, Miles.
So, will your approach be softly, smacky, trunchy?
We will still be using truncheons, Miles, only now, when officers hit people, they'll do this.
Ow! It still hurts.
Yeah, but it also dispenses Savlon to make that sore place better. And we're also changing the design of uniforms. From now on, they'll be in restful pastel shades. And the word police will be written in Comic Sans.
Isn't this all a bit patronising?
No, nonsense. No, but protesters will also be issued with this high-quality, glossy leaflet.
Janet and John get kettled.
It's an educational and informative picture story about all the things that we're allowed to do to you with impunity.
And will you still be throwing people out of wheelchairs?
Oh, yes, indeed, Miles. In fact, our equal opportunities policy encourages it. They don't want to be treated differently just because they're in a wheelchair. Now, if you'll excuse me, I think we should disperse this crowd before they turn nasty.
No, wait, that's the audience.
Well, they look dangerous to me. Can I disperse them at the end of the show?
Oh, yeah, feel free to taser them to your heart's content. America and Britain are two countries divided by a common language and, thankfully, roughly 4,300 miles of seawater. But now it's time to check in with our American cousins and order a supersized portion of facts, courtesy of our sister network, the always impartial, entirely authoritative Newsfox.
Newsfox.
Shooting first, then asking questions, and then shooting again.
Over in the United Kingdoms of Countryshire this week, the world of cricket ball has been rocked by the revelation that player Stephen Davies has come out as a homosexual and communist. Our correspondent Chuck will now explain the game of cricket ball.
Cricket ball? Imagine baseball, but the pitchers are called bowlers, the catchers are called wicky creepers, and the batters are called stump jockeys. The bowlers must try and throw a ball at the Queen of England, who must catch it in her mouth. The team who wins is allowed access to medical treatment.
Newsfox.
24 hours, 7 days, 10 commandments.
In other news, actress and modern-day whore of Babylon, Joanna Lumley, has said the children in the USSSSK have no morals. We sent CJ to a British school to see if she's right.
She's not wrong. None of them, not one, could identify Ronald Reagan.
God bless the Gipper. Thanks, CJ! Newsfox.
News, wearing a fanny pack. Finally, the news that the local Senate in Liverpool upon Mersey, home of course to famous band The Rolling Stones, has to find $91 million of cuts to its budget, despite being one of the most deprived areas in all Britannica. We go over to our political analyst, Chuck Biscuits.
The cuts are not a problem. My research shows that poor people tend not to spend as much as rich people.
You're damn right, Chuck.
Newsfox. We level the moral high ground.
And that's all from Newsfox. Join us at 11 for our Newsfox special, in which Sarah Palin and Condoleezza Rice go head-to-head to finally find out once and for all whose breast milk makes the best ice cream. Come on, Condi! Unleash the Dougs of war.
That's all from us. God bless America. God bless Newsfox. Newsfox.
Now that they're facing a €380 billion debt, the people of Ireland might have been hoping for some strong leadership. Unfortunately, the Irish election has resulted in, at best, a weak kind of coalition government, and at worst, Britain's kind of coalition government. Our Ireland correspondent Sally Cromwell has more.
Thank you, Miles. The very top of the morning to you. Yes, the new coalition has immediately taken strong steps to remedy Ireland's economic crises. They are now encouraging Irish workers to move away from the banking, web tech and housing sectors and back into more traditional sources of employment. In Dublin, we spoke to former investment banker Thomas about his new line of work.
Well, obviously it's a bit different from business lunches, trips to New York and juggling stock portfolios. But I think the new job's a little more, how'd you say, authentic.
I certainly wouldn't say it like that. And what is it you do?
Well, basically I sit in this style and I wear this uniform. But that's not the most important bit of the job. This is the most important bit. I have to make sure no one steals me Lucky Charms.
And where do you keep your Lucky Charms?
Well, let's go... Oh, no, wait, you nearly had me there. I nearly told you where my Lucky Charms were.
Aren't you worried that you're playing into the hands of the stereotypes people have about the Irish? People who think that you just drink Guinness, say bejesus and hang around in bars all day waiting for an Englishman and a Scotsman to walk in.
That's a worry, Sarah. But what else can we do in this uncertain economic climate?
There you have it, Miles. A scoop for Newsjack. Irish workers forced to resort to stereotype in order to survive. Thomas, what do you think the future holds for Ireland?
It's all very uncertain. To be unsure, to be unsure, to be unsure.
It's been a pleasure to have the Blarney with you.
Thanks, miss. Right, I'm off to chase a horse round the council estate. Head up!
The Jack app.
Please leave your message after the tone.
I think the robber who tried to steal a chainsaw by hiding it in his pants should have his benefits cut off.
They reckon almost a fifth of foods labelled local in England and Wales aren't local at all. It's the same with local radio. I listen to BBC Leeds, but my radio's made in Taiwan.
I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to Mel Gibson's film about John Galliano.
They say supermarkets could be forced to keep alcohol and dairy products apart, but that's really going to make the Bristol cream display very messy. I hear 1,000 people are crossing the Libyan-Tunisian border every hour. Why don't they just make up their minds?
This is Ashley Cole. Stop making jokes at my expense, otherwise the work experience kid gets it.
Just like the coming of spring or Noel Edmonds flirting with a menopausal contestant on Deal or No Deal, the royal wedding moves ever closer. And as the happy couple stepped out on their first official engagements this week, all eyes were on Kate Middleton, mainly out of politeness because people didn't want to stare at her fiancé's disturbingly receding hairline. For the latest updates, we turn to someone who's been keeping their eager eyes on every step of the preparations, our Newsjack royal wedding correspondent, Julia. Let's see how she's getting on. Julia, hi. What's the latest with our adorable Wills and Kate? Julia?
Black tights!
Sorry, what?
And black boots! She always wears black tights and black boots! Black tights and black boots. Black tights and black boots.
Of course.
Anything else?
What about her hair?
She wears a fascinator.
Fascinating.
No, it's not! It's the least fascinating thing you can possibly imagine.
Oh.
I want to be a proper journalist. I want to see the sunshine again.
Well, how about I ask you something more serious?
Yes? What about Libya? Al-Qaeda? The economic crisis?
No, the invites. Do you have any more gossip about the guest list? I hear everyone in Kate's home village has been invited specially.
Black tights and black boots. Black boots.
Well, I think we'll leave it there. Poor Julia, she just can't take her eyes off the wedding coverage. Not unless we loosen the clamps, anyway. An unexpected part of the education debate this week was former Home Secretary Jackie Smith popping up to say that the adult entertainment industry should donate funds for school sex education, as opposed to the current system where the taxpayer subsidises sex education and Jackie Smith's husband donates funds to the adult entertainment industry. Personally, I'd rather see porn barons going all the way and setting up their own academies in order to help realise David Cameron's dream of a big, hot and throbbing society.
Quiet, please, class. Welcome to your first day at the XXX Top Shelf Academy for Boys. I am your form teacher, Miss Tallulah Sugarlips. Yes, thank you, Headmaster. Your first lesson this morning will be English, which you yourselves will be attempting to teach to Sven, the pool repairman with a cheeky glint in his eye. After lunch, we'll be setting you a maths problem. If Lola is a 36D and Mitzi is a 38 double D, how long will it take them to produce enough ice cream to feed the entire population of Covent Garden? But before all that, I'm going to give you a brief lesson in anatomy. No, Jenkins, you may not put that £5 note there. That's the sort of financial waste that got your EMA scrapped in the first place. Dismissed.
Making a mistake is a lot like murdering someone in the first act of a Shakespeare play. You can guarantee they'll come back to haunt you. And because we at Newsjack are living a waking nightmare plagued by memories of every tiny error, here are some corrections.
After police seized over £100,000 worth of fake Olympic-branded clothes from a shop in London, it was incorrect of us to suggest that the fraud squad are now investigating 5 interlinked counterfeiting rings.
In the wake of the breast milk ice cream controversy, we were wrong to suggest you could find similar recipes in the best-selling book Nigella Express.
After hearing Jim Davidson is to star in a new play as a bigoted comedian, Newsjack would like to apologise for suggesting his whole career has been one long piece of method acting.
Newsjack can confirm that the government's public consultation process on a new railway line will begin this week. But please note that a replacement public consultation process will be in operation at weekends. Good night!
Newsjack starred Miles Jupp, Margaret Caborn-Smith, Lewis MacLeod and Pippa Evans. For a full list of writers, go to bbc.co.uk/programmes/Newsjack. The producer was Simon Mayhew Archer.
You're listening to Absolute Radio 7's Archive Comedy Hour, and that was Newsjack from way back in March 2011, the week that saw David Cameron's ill-advised threat of military action in Libya, resulting in the short-lived Libya-UK war, which, of course, Libya won. All praise the great Colonel and death to the infidels. Coming up on 7, more comedy fun in the ever-popular panel show, I'm Sorry I Haven't a Camel. And Mohammed Meldrew receives an unexpected delivery of 38 British warheads in another episode of 1 Foot in the Mass Grave. But before all that, Nick Clegg reads from his recently published memoirs. Chapter 34, Why Becoming Gaddafi's Love Monkey Was Totally in Keeping with My Pre-Election Pledges.
Well, fun lovers, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Newsjack from BBC Radio 7. For the full range of other BBC podcasts, visit www.bbc.co.uk/podcasts.